turn this into these. I am the Great British Chocolatier and you're watching Chocolate Plus. Hello and welcome to another episode of Chocolate Plus. My name is Mark, aka the Great British Chocolatier, and today we're going to be making some truffles. I'm using milk chocolate today and I'm going to be melting them in the piping bags because I'm going to be piping the chocolate inside the mold here. These are polycarbonate molds, so they're rock solid. If you see here, these have got magnets because I have another half that makes the whole ball of this. Never used it because I had a lot of trouble sealing the two ends together without it leaking all over the place. But a half a dome is better than no dome, and I think it's more a more bite-sizable piece of candy. I also have a diamond mold here, again made out of polycarbonate. You can pick these up on Amazon. They range, I guess, from about 10, 12 bucks up to 30, 40, 50 bucks. Just make sure that when you buy the polycarbonate online on Amazon that it's food grade molds, because some of the cheaper molds aren't really all what they seem to be. But this is a good one. I've had this now for over 10 years, so they last a long time. You see little, where you can't really see, but they got little dings and dangs on them. Because over time you have wear and tear. Okay, I almost got my bowl, but I'm going to be melting them in the bag. So first of all, as we know the drill, we pour it into the mold, into the piping bag, and we put it in the microwave for 30 seconds. Like so. I have these. I used to use the IKEA bowl, but they've long gone. So I haven't made truffles in a while. But what I do, I fill these up with the chocolate nibs, and I get some. Forgot. I'm sorry about that. I put some heavy cream. Now in England, heavy cream is known, I think, as double cream. So it might be heavy cream now, I don't know, but it weighs the same as a regular milk of that nature. But it's heavy because it's double cream, and what we're going to do with this, I just see it melting just a tiny bit, but we want to still distribute that heat in the piping bag, making sure they don't fall out. And put that back in again for another 30 seconds. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to find my measuring, weighing scale, because we're going to be, I don't ever measure, but I know people like that. And when it comes to making a ganache, you kind of got to know the ratios of what you're doing for cream to chocolate, because we're essentially adding cream into the chocolate, softening the chocolate so that it becomes just like soft chocolate. That's what a ganache is, softer chocolate. That is, it doesn't ever get hard, it's always remains soft. If you put too much cream in it, it's gonna be very runny, the ganache, and if that happens, you just add in some more chocolate and it will thicken up. The way that I make ganache is I make it in the bowl, pour it into the piping bag, and because I'm using molds, I just pipe the ganache straight into the mold. Other way to make a ganache is leave it in the fridge or overnight, so that it completely hardens, and you ball it out with a spoon. You can roll it, put it back on a baking tray, and it needs to go back in the fridge before you cover it in chocolate. That is the most traditional way to do truffles, but I've always used a mold, and so I'm just going to do it the way that I've done it. And if I had prepped yesterday, I could have shown you how to do it the other way, but I didn't, so we got what we got. But it's all good. We're going to be making truffles, but we're not going to add. Normally, I would add a flavor into the chocolate, into the ganache rather, of strawberry, cherry, butter rum, all different flavors that you can get by Law and oils. And as you see here, it's very pliable now. So I am going to make a soft ganache and milk chocolate, and then I'm going to add some coffee to the other one if we get time. But this is fun because you're going to see the famous. You put that one there. We're going to get it one at a time. As I'm going all over the place. Okay, so I wiped these molds out, so there should be no sticking to it. I'm going to cut like 5 millimeters to which is half a centimeter, and you're just going to simply pour it in to the very top. And you could do this with a spoon. You don't have to put it into a piping bag. You see it shaking there. But we're going to go all the way up to the top, like so. So I'll speed this up. When I'm done, we get back to you. Okay, we're down to the last one. I'll put that on the other side, and as we always do, we're gonna tap out all the air bubbles. Now you can tap it on the counter. If you've got a pastry scraper, you can just tap it out that way. And this it takes all the air bubbles out. Even though we're going to dump it out, we don't want any air bubbles on the shell that we are making. Alright, and the good thing about these, they have, on the other side, they have grips where you can grip a hold of the mold. And so that's what I use. Now this is the fun part. So I'll probably slow this down in slow motion, making sure that all the sides are covered. I can see some that are not up to the top. So just add a bit more into there. Alright. I'll knock it down a bit more. So even though there's 3 stages to this, there's creating the shell, it then goes into the fridge. Then you're gonna make the ganache, and then you're gonna put the ganache inside the shells. Goes back in again to the fridge, and the third time you're gonna cap it off by putting another layer of chocolate on top of it all. Okay, so here's the fun part. I'm knock it upside down, and we see. And as I like to turn it around and let it pour out the other side. Something fell over there. I don't know what that was. And all this does is ensures a nice even coat on the side. And then with a scraper, I just simply scrape it off, like so. And there you have your nice shell that's created. And this goes face up in the fridge for 8 to 10 minutes. In that time, this should go in the fridge too, because this is hardened up, and that's going to go back into the piping bag for the capping. Okay, so let me put this in the fridge. I'll be right back, clean this up, and we're going to start on our ganache. Be right back. Okay, we're going to start on our ganache. I would say don't be afraid in making ganache, because it's really not that difficult. So we're going to need a measuring jug, and what I do here, let me just make sure that gets to 0. What I've done in the past, I've just filled up this whole thing with chocolate, but I'm going to try and give it a measurement of about 5 ounces. And then I'm going to first shake up the milk, the heavy cream. And what we're going to do, because we do everything in the microwave, I usually fill this up to about 1/3 of a cup, like so. So you got 1/3 of a cup of cream, and heat that for 30 seconds to a minute. If you're doing a whole bag, of course you're going to add, you can always, when it comes to liquids, I always say put less in first, because you can always add more. I mean, you could put a whole cup to a whole bag of this, but this should fill up all those in there. And of course, I'm going to add another 30 seconds. And you also got to I'll keep an eye on it so it doesn't froth up over the top, because you don't. I'm doing one of these things. So it's starting to froth up after about 40 seconds. And so what you do, you just pour the heavy cream or the double cream, and you just leave it in there. You don't touch it, you don't stir it, you just let it sitting in the hot milk. And then we're just simply gonna stir and pour it into a piping bag. And what I usually use is a cup or a beaker that's tall, and I put, this is how I do it, and so find your own way, but this is what I find works good, because after a couple of minutes, find the lid to this thing. The lid to the cream is now gone. Oh, there it is. So there we go. Because we may have to add in we may have to add in some more. It depends. But I usually, whatever it is, it is. And I may have to add in some more chocolate, but you just simply stir. You're just stirring the hot. Okay, so here we are. We have a nice thin chocolate ganache. Ganache, like I said, is simply chocolate and heavy cream, or double cream in the UK. And we add 5 ounces of chocolate to 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream. And now at this stage, if you're gonna give it a flavor, you could use peppermint if you like peppermint. I don't use peppermint for truffles. I do use orange, so this orange oil here. And again, I would just give a capful, a cap and a half, which would go in there. But we're not flavoring this one. When I do it a second time, I'm actually going to, I'm going to do this. I won't record this part, but these are probably going to be coffee. And anyway, let's pour this into here, like so. And I would say, if you see any lumps, don't sweat it. If you think it's too thick, just add, heat up some more cream and put it in. And if you think it's too thin, you add in more chocolate. This can go back in the microwave. So sometimes if I see it toughening up, you can put it back in the microwave for about 10-15 seconds. So again, and this is pretty cold. It's not hot, but it's going to be loose because it's a ganache. Okay, so we don't need this anymore. I'll go check on those in there. If they're not done, I'll put these in chocolate. Be right back. Okay, here's our shells. They're nicely done. This one looks a little bit rough and tough, but we can fix this. Like you saw me just do there. If there's some overflow, you can use the scraper just to clean the tops off. Nice, like that. Okay, so we have our ganache here. And you notice it's been sitting there for quite a while, which is fine. Now with this, I'm going to cut a very small, because I don't want it pouring out like crazy. And we're just simply going to fill these in with the soft chocolate ganache. And we're going to fill them up, not all the way. We're going to fill them up, I would say a good 3/4 of the way, because you want to, you got to cap it off. So you don't want to go all the way to the top, because then you're going to give yourself problems. So I'll fast forward this and I'll be back. Right, the last few, I'll get chocolate ganache everywhere because I failed to twist the top correctly and I got messy. But it's all part of the fun. Okay, so I'm gonna change my gloves. But you see that they're pretty much filled to the top, but they're not quite. Some are a little filled to the top that I like. But this goes into the fridge, and it's going to be in there for about 20 minutes. It's going to take a little longer because you want it all to set. Because when we cap it off, we don't want this to be loose at all. So 20 minutes in the fridge. I'll clean up. By that time, the other ones will be ready, and we'll make the other ganache. Be right back. Okay, we're back. I should have cleaned that right. This has been in the fridge for about 20 minutes to almost half an hour. I'm going to need that. You break down the rest of the chocolate that's in there. And I've got to put it away from the tip because for some reason the tip never melts. It's really weird. Bit of a mess, but here's the broken, not the broken, this is the what got poured out of the mold, so this is what goes back inside here, like so. I didn't show you the first time how I do it, but I thought you guys probably want to see that. Okay, back in the microwave. You know the drill, 30 seconds, 3 times. If I need more chocolate, I have it here. If you wanted it real firm, then obviously you add in more chocolate and less cream. Alright, so we're going to cap these off. and I simply do a zigzag over the thing. Now I could just pour this over with chocolate, but I'm not going to do that. Simply speed this along. Five, 10 minutes, and then when it's all done, I'll be back and we'll give it a taste. Alright. Okay, so here's the unveiling. They don't look too pretty on the bottom side, but we're going to twist gently and they're going to come away from the mold. So here we have our chocolate ganache in milk chocolate truffles over here, and we have coffee truffles over this side. Process is pretty simple. Just make sure that you clean out your mold so nothing sticks to it like we had trouble with the chocolate ganache over this side. Again, even though they're stuck in the mold, they're still going to be eaten, and we're still going to repair them, and we're still going to enjoy them no matter what. So this is something that you can make at home. So don't be afraid of ganache, because it's not that difficult. 5 ounces of chocolate, 1/3 of a cup of heavy cream, and heat the cream in the microwave. Well, you saw the process. So I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. If you haven't yet subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for. Let's chocolatize that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time a new video has been uploaded. That's the right word. So thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye bye.